2-17 in our last 19 meetings with the Capitals. You know, I think Herb Brooks said it best. You play a team 10 times, they might win 9. The biggest difference, of course, is that we're not playing the greatest Olympic team ever assembled, and we're not a bunch of fucking college kids with 0 games of NHL experience. Low-quality fans of a very high-quality Bruins team, welcome back. Another episode, another great day. Guess what that isn't, though? That is not a dub. Okay, so I did a whole video basically about this before the season started, where we were going to talk about how the division is tough. This is a tough division. You look at some of the other divisions and you go, yeah, no, Tampa can have fun with those guys. And it looks like Dallas is coming on strong, and the Hurricanes don't look bad, but the rest of it's shit. I said originally, we don't play the Capitals well. We don't. We just, so hard to get those wins. And I said, if we go to the playoffs and meet the Capitals in a 7-game series, who the fuck knows? Oh, but that game. Let's just get into it. 2-17. But let's just get into it. Okay, so we're going to the Caps. Done with the homestand. Perfect 4-0. I don't want to talk a lot about which team was more shorthanded than the other, because they were missing players due to the COVID protocol stuff. The league's trying to set a precedent. I understand that. They don't want to turn into the NBA, where they're kind of letting people do whatever they want, and then they hit a massive issue in the middle of the season. The NHL wanted to set a precedent. It just turns out the Capitals were the one to suffer the biggest punishment right off the rip. I'm not going to get into that. We were missing DeBrusk. Kasha's still out. No Grizz again. Rask, we don't know if he was 100%, but I assume he was. Right? Because why would we rush him back if he wasn't? So let's not talk about that. Oh, and then Studnicka was missing too. But Pasta's back, and everyone's super hype about Pasta. And you ever just get that feeling where we're really excited about a player to come back, but this is hockey. This rust. You're never in game shape unless you're playing games. We did get our first look at Kuhlman, though. He was fine. He got benched in the 3rd. We'll talk about it. Fuck's sake. Can you tell that I'm just like, I just don't like this right now? You want to scream and shout about the game because you lost, but you actually forced overtime, which is nice, but it was just an exhausting, emotional game that you just couldn't figure out what our problem was for most of it. Something that hasn't changed, though, is our 4th line. Yeah, I'm going to get it out of the way early, folks. Our 4th line, as soon as they get a shift, they just pin the Caps into their own zone. Just pin them down, and they're moving the puck, and Bjork is killing me with how long he likes to hold the puck, but they just no possession. They're so good at staying in the other team's zone. And then as soon as we switch out, our first line gets completely sewn into their zone. Why are you getting shown up by your 4th line? I know there's a difference in the competitiveness of who the 4th line is going against versus who the first line is going against pretty often, especially as an away game, because then the Caps get to choose their matchups. There are certain games where star players need to be star players, and we're going to really get into that later. I already mentioned this, but you know how sometimes you just get a bad foreshadowing of what's about to come? Well, the Caps always give me that feeling. We have a really great opportunity pretty early on where a puck gets cleared in, takes a really weird bounce, Vanacek comes out to play it, but then has to skate back around the net and try to slide in front of the net because Krejci has an open net, but Vanacek gets a piece. Really weird bounce. Really great opportunity. Can't believe we didn't score. And that's the moment, right? That's the moment earlier in the game you go, oh, it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be one of those games where we just can't get a fucking bounce. St. Patrice. I assumed we weren't going to get a bounce this whole game. And I was right for most of it. The Caps early on were actually pretty sloppy in their own zone. Hence why we had 19 shots in the first period. But we were taking a ton of point shots. They were getting to the net, but no one was available for the follow-up. And Vanacek was giving up huge rebounds constantly. And I don't understand how you see that and don't go, oh, let's just really get in his face then. Because we didn't at all. The Caps cleared out the front of their net almost all night long. They did an amazing job of keeping people away from Vanacek and clearing the puck out on first chances, which is something they're so good at. They build their layers, and we could not get a break. There were only 2 stops, as in whistles, in the first 12 minutes of this game. The puck went their side, our side, their side, our side, scoring chance, scoring chance, scoring chance, scoring chance. But nothing could really come to fruition because both teams built their layers so heavily. These weren't high danger chances. A little moment that probably caught a lot of your eyes is Trent Frederick was jawing with Wilson before a face-off. It dawned on me. Oh, it's not so much that Trent Frederick is a rough and tough customer. He has a fucking death wish. I love the cut of his jib. I like that he's constantly bothering and annoying these other players, and he has the size to kind of get in there and mix it up. What are you doing? That's Tom fucking Wilson. Leave him alone. Get in his face during play, but you join with him during the face-off before we even start play? Like, you have an actual death wish. You're a maniac. And again, I'm kind of here for it. Like, I'm kind of digging it down. You gotta calm down because you're not gonna get in Tom Wilson's head. You don't throw Tom Wilson off of his game. You just play into it, and then he beats you in the face with his schlong. Probably a little too graphic, but I might keep it in here. Lauzon had a fun little growing moment, though. So we get to the point where we're actually buzzing in the cap zone. We have a little bit of pressure. It's looking good. Puck gets cleared to Lauzon. Lauzon sometimes gets caught in the situation where he wants to keep the puck in so badly. And it's not so much that he jumps forward, but he stays put. This was a high lofted puck. He tries to bring it down. It gets in his skates. The puck gets over the blue line, so we're offsides anyway. Everyone's got to touch up. But he's wrestling to get it off the boards instead of backpedaling, making sure he's in control of the defensive zone first. Backstrom swings by and with speed takes the puck from him. Just flies down the right side. And then it's a great shot. It's a great play. He buries one high corner on Rask. Star players being star players. It was a great goal by him. Lauzon should have either stopped the puck and realized that he didn't have control and backpedaled, making sure he at least had position defensively, or he should have just tried to whack it into their zone again. Too much playing with the puck. He got bit bad for it. But hey, we knew that this kind of stuff was going to happen. We've got a couple defenders who are a little shaky on the decision making. Almost immediately after that happens, though, panic, honey, panahamaha. Trips coil, power play time. Problem is, we don't score off of it. So we're going into the locker room, down 1-0 after the first, and you just, again, get this feeling. 19-7 in shots. Fair amount of offensive zone time. Like, huge mistake not to get one in the first. Really huge mistake. To highlight that 19-7 on shots, we had an expected goal percentage of 1.54 after the first period. That is our highest after the first period this season, according to moneypuck.com. Second period starts. Now we have a couple opportunities because we still have that power play for like 30 or 40 seconds. Pasta has two chances, can't quite get the bounce on one of them, another one, he just can't seem to find the net. After that power play was finished, we come out and we're completely flat. Capitals are pushing, they're buzzing, whatever you want to call it, and Trevor Van Riemsdyk, just takes a little wrister from the blue line, and Rask never sees it. He never sees it. And then, boom, goal. You're down 2-0 in a game that it just doesn't feel like you should be. And there's all the speculation about opportunism and just making the plays when they're in front of you and really getting to the dirty areas and finishing pucks. It sucks how often in this sport you feel like you've been the better team and you're in a hole, like a legitimate hole. 2-0 is a legitimate hole. But you know what can make me feel worse? How about a post shot by Carlo? And this thing was loud, like you knew it hit right off the ding. So loud. I'm talking loud like a truck owned by a man with a micro penis. Like, we're talking loud. But hey, at least it can't get much worse. Oh, Krejci, I'm sorry, what was that? You hooked him? You didn't hook him. Oh, you didn't hook him. No, you just... Well, you don't think you hooked him because, and I quote, "That's a bullshit call," is what you said to the ref immediately. So did you hook him? Because the replay shows that you hooked him. Penalty kill for us, and another bounce goes their way. It was a shot from a point that bounced off a player, goes right to Wilson, who's got a little bit of space. He throws it at Rask, and Rask never saw the puck. He never saw this one. That's 2 out of the 3 goals that Rask just did not see. And you could say what you want about tracking, you could say what you want about positioning, but really hard to stop something you can't see. I keep saying that NHL goalies are good. That's why they're in the NHL. You need to find ways to beat them, and that's what the Caps did. They didn't allow Rask to see the puck because we couldn't clear out the front of the net. And then it just gets worse because Pasta looks rusty, which is fine. I want him to get back in game shape. I need him in these games. It's okay that he looks rusty. Of course he does, right? Of course he does. He just had surgery and had to make a comeback, which he came back early from. But we also look terribly sloppy. We can't tape to tape at all. No one's hitting each other with their passes. The Caps' layers in the neutral zone are crushing every entrance we try to make. And when we clear the puck in, they've been so good at getting it out of their zone, which is why they're doing so well this year. Just a frustrating second half of this period. I said I was going to mention this. Here we are. 7 minutes left of the second period. We're down 3-0. And the thought comes to mind. This is when star players are star players. This is when you have to do it more than any other time. You have to get your team back in this game. One lucky bounce, one breakaway, one great play. I don't care. You need to get your team back in this game. Rask, you got to become a brick wall. That's it. You got to shut down. You're our star elite goaltender. This is it. They get 3. No more. Bergie, Pasta, Marshy. Your nickname is the perfection line. Let's see it. Come on. It is time for star players to be star players. Those are the ones you're looking for to make the big play. And you're down 3-0, you score 1 goal before the end of the period. 1. And you're back in the game. Now, I had to wait a few minutes. Harlow draws an interference penalty. Excellent. We had the puck in their zone the entire time. A lot of patience, took a while. But we kept the puck in, had to win 3 faceoffs in their zone. So obviously, I'm building towards we score on this power play, right? Would anyone like to take a guess who it was? Anybody? Nick Ritchie! Well, it's really Krejci who scored this. From the point, he shoots it in, just a nice little wrister, but there are bodies in front of the net. It deflects once, gets past VTech. Nick Ritchie, man. That's 4 goals for him on the season. He's doing what he is built to do. He's bought into the system. And he's the one who gets us back into this game. Krejci is, but it went off him last. So we're going to give it to Nick Ritchie. So 3-1 going into the third. And for the first 5 minutes, we look terrible. We can't pass the puck. And it looks like we're schoolboys versus gorillas. It's World War G up in here. We can't seem to do anything. We're getting bodied all over the place. But then Bruce goes, wait a second, I coach. Koolman, get the fuck off the ice. Koolman does not deserve a lot of hate for this game. He's stuck on the taxi squad. He's getting no reps. Of course, this practices, but this is his first action of the year. Like real action. He didn't look great. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and shit on the guy. But he gets benched, rightfully so. Fourth line comes out. Caps ice the puck. Bruce goes, no. I love you guys. You guys are little sweeties, But we're going to put in our perfection line for a fucking reason. The only sad thing about this is Pasta was not involved. Bergie wins the faceoff, because duh. McAvoy skates it down the right side. Marshy gets into the bumper spot. And he waits. And McAvoy's coming down right before he loses the angle, when he's about to go behind the net, he just soft little lift right to Marshy, who just boop, goal, 3-2. We got a game. 13 minutes left, 1 goal game. Star players being star players. And then Koolman comes back into the game because Bruce is like, you get it now, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, you got benched for like 15 minutes. Like, all right, I still need some fresh legs going here. The Caps make a huge mistake. And it's one of those dumb too many men calls where it didn't actually affect the play, but it was too many men. Caps get called for it. I hate to say it. Pasta kind of made our power play worse this game. Allow me to explain. We kept feeding Pasta the puck, and he kept shooting from his spot. He did not have the same kind of speed on this shot that he normally does. That'll come. Didn't have the same kind of placement. And the team we were playing knows how to defend this. Do you know why they know how to defend this? Because Alex Ovechkin has scored, 705 out of 706 of his goals from exactly that spot. I'm not going to fact check that. The power play was just so predictable. Ford F-150 final 5, and it's a 1-goal game. But here's a sign of a great team. The energy is there. No one has given up on this game. We're down by a goal. I'm going to try to recap this as best I can. Okay, so Tuukka goes to the bench. Ritchie gets the puck in the neutral zone. Really weird moment here. Ritchie dumps the puck in. You have more men, dump it in, get the bodies up, let's do it. And then the Caps just kind of let Ritchie go get it. even though he has to skate by 3 skaters to get there. Richie's not fast enough to do it. It's fine. Richie gets it, throws it to Pasta. Pasta to Krejci, alone in the slot, but his stick breaks, but the puck trickles to Vitek, and Vitek slides out, and he's 10 feet from the crease, and he slides out, and he gets the puck, hits it away, it gets stuck under there. There's another chance. Marshy, but Vitek again, save. Where does it go next? Puck bounces out to the blue line. There's McAvoy, throws it at the net, and then there's a mad scramble of bodies. What I've been saying, folks. There's a mad scramble of bodies. The puck's bouncing around. Vanacek can't get a grip on it, and it bounces out to McAvoy, who goes screeching into the pile. He tosses it in the empty net. That's a tie game. That's it. We are down 3-0. It's a tie game with 1 minute left in the third. God, this game and this team and oh, it felt good. It felt so good to see that we could come back from that kind of deficit against a really good team. A team that consistently beats us because fuck them. Oh, this is why I was exhausted. This is why I was completely exhausted. This is why my voice isn't healthy. This is why I'm just a complete mess. Oh, wait, I'm always like that. What are we talking about right now? Who are you? Overtime happens. People are upset that both Krejci and Pasta were on the ice for the first shift of overtime. You're trying to build the confidence of Pasta, and it's not like Pasta was terrible. He just was rusty. Krejci, I just saw a lot of ice time in that third. I haven't really checked the numbers on that, but he did look kind of tired. So, yeah, I mean, the criticism's fine. But what happens next is neither of their fault. Ovechkin skates into our zone. They do give him a little bit too much space, but it's 3-on-3, so that tends to happen. And he's the greatest goal scorer of this generation. He is the greatest goal scorer of this generation. Skates across the blue line from the top of the circles, and this was just a great shot. And yeah, you want Ras to have it, but great, all-time great players make all-time great plays. And yeah, this is less than 10 games in the season. This isn't going to go on his permanent highlight reel or whatever of greatness. Who cares? It's these moments that define players like this. And he just skates it across, and he goes, I'm not losing this game. And he just picks top corner and gets it. And that's game. And you know what? I was kind of too tired at the end of this game to really react in a massive way. But what a game. What a shocking game. An exciting game. A frustrating game. But this game is the absolute epitome of why we love hockey. The game's never truly out of reach. There's hot streaks, momentum, cold streaks, good games by goalies, bad games by goalies. There's so many advanced analytics you could get into. But this was such a pure hockey game with all the bullshit included. And an all-time great player finished the game the way all-time great players do. That's it. Look, we see him again Monday. And hopefully we both have more players back. Game notes, I don't really have many. I will say Chara, he looked fine. They're using him kind of a penalty-killing shutdown role, as you would. He did take a puck to the face from Marshy. That just feels like that's stuff of poetry. Of course he did, right? He did come back because of course he did. This team doesn't have a ton of depth to handle a lot of injuries. I mean, what team does, right? When you start to take 2 or 3 of them away, it hurts. It really hurts. And Studnicka being injured, you wouldn't think would be a big deal. But Kuhlman didn't really bring the same level that Studnicka does, even if Studnicka hasn't been great. Kasha being injured, I really just want him to come back and be healthy and see if he can actually stick on the team. Pasta was rusty. That was a great game. Sometimes you lose. It happens. All right, guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for checking in on another episode. I find it kind of weird. I feel like I always have to do like the, hey, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. Does that work? Do people go like, oh, he said that thing, I should probably do that thing? But yeah, if you want to support the channel, do that kind of stuff. And if you don't, tell me why in the comments, because that'll be fun. Go Bees!